Hey everyone, it's Karen King at Gold Star Pro, and in this video I'm going to walk you through a process that we've set up to help you understand how engaged customers are with the content that you're sending them. It uses two workflows. It's really simple and easy to set up, and you can have it activated and working for you very quickly. So to find it, let's jump into automations. The workflows are called engagement. So we're just going to do a quick search for engage, and you'll see two workflows, part 1 and part 2. These work together, pushing people from one to the other and tagging them based on how long it's been since they opened an email. Let's jump into part 2 first of all and show you what happens when somebody opens an email. So the trigger is opened an email. From there, they're pushed into the workflow, and the first action removes them from part 1. Then the workflow automatically pushes them back into part 1. Let's double check your settings and make sure that everything is set up correctly. So first of all, let's click on remove from part 1 engagement workflow. And you want to make sure that template customer engagement tagging part 1 is chosen. If it's not, simply click on this box and look for engagement and add part 1. Then we'll click on save. And then we'll go to the second one. So this time we want to add them to part 1. Again, look here for part 1. If it's not there, just do a quick search, make sure it's selected, and then click Save As. Of course, once you're done, click on Save at the top right of the page. Now that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but let's jump into part 1 and I'll show you what that means and why it's important. So, assuming somebody has opened an email, they're pushed back into part 1, the first 3 actions remove tags. Now, these are tags that are added further down in the workflow. So let's skip over them for a moment because they'll make more sense once we have a look at the workflow. So, thinking about somebody that has been pushed into the workflow, the first thing that is going to happen is they're given a recent activity tag. So that tells you in your system that somebody has recently opened an email. From there, they're going to wait 30 days and the recent activity tag will be removed and an engage tag will be added. So what that means is that the recent activity tag shows you that somebody has opened an email within the last 30 days. An engage tag shows you that somebody's opened an email within the last 30 to 60 days. Now, continuing on with the workflow, they'll wait another 30 days, the engage tag will be removed and an unengaged tag will be added. They'll then wait another 30 days, the unengaged tag will be removed and an inactive tag will be added. So what that is telling you is if you see someone in your system with an inactive tag, they haven't opened an email within the last 90 to 120 days. Now, you can change these timeframes. If we go further back up to the top, if we click on wait 30 days, you can change this to be whatever you want it to be. So you might want it to be 2 weeks, for example. You would change this to 14 days. 30 days works really well, keeping in mind that people don't necessarily open their emails immediately upon receiving them. So this gives the system time to monitor them and tag them appropriately. Now, what happens if somebody receives your email? Let's say, for example, they're down here. They've had the engaged tag removed and they're suddenly in the unengaged tag section. They get an email from you and this time they open it. Well, if you remember, part 2 of the workflow removes them from part 1. So they would immediately be removed from this workflow. Then they'll be added to the workflow again. So if we go back up to the top, we'll see that the engaged tag, the unengaged tag, and the inactive tags are removed and they're immediately given a recent activity tag. So as you can see, these two workflows work together to tag and untag people based on what's going on. This is a great way to manage your customers and to get a really clear idea of where they are in your process, how engaged they are, and where appropriate, take action if people are not engaged. Keep in mind that when you're sending emails, deliverability is dependent upon actions that customers are taking. So if you're sending to a lot of customers that have an inactive tag, they're not taking action, that can be negatively impacting your email deliverability and your email reputation. But more importantly, having these tags and being able to see where customers are in the process is just going to give you much better insight into what's going on. Now, how do we check for these? If you're new to Goldstar and you want to see where these people are, what you're going to do is come over into your contact area, go to filters, and then we're going to click on tag. From there, you can add the workflow, or at least the tag that you want to filter by. So if we filter by inactive, we would then be able to click apply down the bottom and we would see who is tagged inactive, and you can take action accordingly. If you wanted to save a smart list for each of these tags, you would then click on Save as Smart List down the bottom of the page, give this a name, for example, inactive, and then click on Save. So with all that set up, you have a really, really easy to use system that's automatically going to tell you where customers are in the workflow process, and you can use that information accordingly. If you've got any questions, be sure to head over to the Facebook group. It's a great place to chat with us about strategy within your business. Have a great day.